Welcome to this new episode, and today I am in the company of Emma. How are you, Emma?
I'm very well. How are you? Nice to see you again.
Very good indeed. Emma and I had an interview where she was the interviewer a couple of years ago, and now we are swapping places. Emma is an artist on the island. She's been here a long time, and it's very interesting for me to have a chat with her because she knows the island very, very, very well.
So weird to think about, but yeah, I think most of my knowledge comes from being the editor of Phanganist.com, which is Koh Phangan's online magazine, like the portal into Koh Phangan, which is how we met. Yeah.
Indeed. It's the biggest website from Koh Phangan for sure, and you've been an editor for a long time as well.
Yeah, I've been on Koh Phangan for, it will be 7 years this coming November, and I've been working for Phanganist.com for about just over 6 years. So I think I wasn't here for very long before I started working for Phanganist. Yeah.
Sounds lovely. So tell us a little bit more about your life. So what is your journey so far?
Okay. So I was born near Oxford in England, but I lived like in the countryside, and I then went on to further education to art school basically. I moved to Bristol because I really like the music, but that's where I chose to do my art degree, and there I got into street art and just art in general and met most of my good friends there. Actually, the journey in Bristol ended quite bad, so I spent quite a good few years in hard addiction, especially in the last couple of years. And I decided to move out of Bristol. I was already on my road to recovery, but actually taking myself away from Bristol meant that I could come off medication quite quickly. Yeah, so then I was living closer to my family, but then I was, this is only within a year, I kind of needed a change, and my best friend had already moved to Koh Phangan and already had a strong connection here. He set up a art business called Starlab Industries.
Okay.
And said, Emma, come to Koh Phangan. So yeah, I'd never been here before, and I decided to come with no plans. I came and started painting, and then met Sharon, who offered me more regular work with Phanganist.com, and here I am.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And I know through your job you interviewed so many people, mostly like lots of DJs and people involved in the music scene of Koh Phangan, but also diverse kind of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit more about your art first. So what type of art do you produce, and why, and what's the story behind it?
Okay, so I'm a painter, essentially, but you do all the drawing and everything behind that. But that's the medium that I enjoy. I like working quite large, but I think I might go just slightly smaller this year. I don't know why, I think because I want to do more. So I'm also a mum, like I told you, of a 17-month-old, so I don't have as much time. That's greatly influencing everything I do, including my art. So, I mean, a couple of years ago, I started trying to work in the addiction and recovery into some pieces. I like to paint people to show what I'm trying to say, because people, although I'm quite introvert, so I don't go out or socialize so much.
I couldn't say that at all.
No, I am. I still really like people, and I like features, and yeah, so I think I do like a strong imagery, and my work is quite autobiographical, I would say. So what I'm going through, or maybe more so what I've experienced, so that I can try and show it better. And really, ideally, I really want to help other people. So I'm still figuring it out, myself. So.
That's great. Like recently I interviewed a lady called Gemini who's setting up a trauma center, and there is a resort here who's turning into a detox, but actually a rehabilitation center for drug abuse. So, and also, of course, this part of the island is very much on healing.
Yes.
And I suppose, the art healing or art therapy has been established as a practice for quite a long time. So maybe in the future you'll also be able to work with maybe people that need support and help more? Is something that you like?
This is in my mind. I'm actually going to go and meet someone this week to find out how I don't know where to start in terms of like qualifying myself. So yeah, this is definitely on the agenda for me.
Very interesting. So Phanganist.com, the way I perceive it, is primarily focused on the party scene, although it's much more of covering a diverse type of subjects these days. And in Koh Phangan, there always been a little bit of a division between the north of the island, Sritanu, where we are now, and the south, because of course the north is very famous for healing and yoga, and the south is possibly one of the best places in Asia for parties. Is that right?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about, do you see this sort of difference between the two souls of the island? How do you see that?
Yeah, for me personally, I find it really interesting because I try to have I like to be a mixture of it all. I don't like to be like, I'm this or this. I did my partying in the UK, so although I work for an entertainment magazine, I couldn't say what was going on at the parties, but I know sort of what's happening. But a lot of people describe it as the yin and yang of the island, and it's quite a good description. So Koh Phangan was made famous from the full moon party, of course, and it's evolved hugely over the years. It's brought a lot of greatness to the island, and also a lot of people will criticise it quite a lot. So let's see where it goes in the future. And then you have all the other parties: Jungle, Loile, Waterfall. Hollystones over here, Lost Paradise. Everything, and I guess it is more so in the south of the island. Yeah, and then Sritanu and Hadyal is more so where the yoga schools are, the concentration, the spiritual hub, I call it. I don't know why those locations, I know why the full moon party is in Hadrian, because that's where you can see the moon the best.
It's the most beautiful beach in Koh Phangan, possibly.
Yeah, and more so now, there's no one here. I don't know why, the West became the hub for yoga. Maybe because Agama opened here first, and then the other yoga schools and Zen Beach. I don't know. But I think I don't see a division because I spend my time in both places. I live here, but then I come to Sritanu and the West a lot. Then I don't know. What do you see the division of?
I think Koh Phangan is called the Freedom Island, and it's a place where we enjoy a lot of flexibility when it comes to pretty much everything, thanks to the parties. So if we are able to have such an open community in Sritanu, is also because this sense of freedom and flexibility was brought to the island because of the full moon, etc., etc., etc. So. Thailand is a very lovely country, and it's a very soft and laid-back country in many ways, but we could probably say Koh Phangan is one of the most freedom places in Thailand, and that's because of the parties. So I'm very certainly grateful for the parties, the fact that they started in Koh Phangan, and I can also think of Koh Phangan as a little bit of the Ibiza of Asia, maybe, because Ibiza is also kind of, in some ways, a place for parties and a place for healing at the same time.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Yeah. And I think it's, we call them parties, but I would like to mention that also the music scene and the actual, house and techno that's being played here, people are bringing, especially Lost Paradise, they're bringing these great names from Berlin. So, the full moon party is the full moon party, but really the underground scene, the quality of the music is good. So for nerds, music nerds, it's quite a good thing to go to.
Sure.
And you can go sober. I go sober. And also, if you do too much partying, then you can come over here and
detox.
Heal yourself again. Yeah.
Indeed, I also like music is an artistic expression, and it's a beautiful thing. And the different types of music, different types of scenes, I love it all. And also I lived in the UK as well for 15 years, and I did a lot of going out in the evening, going to parties, going to clubs, etc. So I am familiar with the vibe there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's nice to be inclusive, and I want society to be very inclusive as possible. And I also know some people that love the yoga and occasionally love the parties, and some people that love the parties and occasionally love the yoga too. Why not?
Yeah. And ecstatic dance as well. I think this is
That's up my alley for sure. 100%. That's what I do later today. I'm gonna go to the pyramid.
Yeah, nice. It's a wonderful thing for the island, and I love the fact that some of the Koh Phangan local DJs, I definitely know that Marco Loco was, he loves playing ecstatic dance, and that's where the two worlds mix. Yeah, which is nice.
Some of the DJs here, we got Sandesh, we got Shai, and they also do parties sometimes, and for sure, ecstatic is it's a lovely way to look at music in a yoga context, which also bridges a little bit with the culture of the south of the island, indeed. Very nice. So tell us a little bit more about, of course, your art is the most important thing for you that you want to talk about, yes. And also the Phanganist, you're saying, is your day job, pretty much. It's still quite an interesting job to have, being the editor of such a magazine, though, isn't it?
Very much, yeah. It's where I have all my knowledge, and so I was going to count, but I forgot how many interviews I've done on video, just on video. I think it's hundreds. But I think we counted the other week, and I've made about 4,000 written articles as well. Yeah. So Phanganist was begun 10 years ago as just a party thing, and then it evolved. I think when I joined, that's when we started covering everything on Koh Phangan. But yeah, I've met pretty much everyone on the island at least once. Not everyone, but some people who are doing something or interesting. Not if you're not interesting, I don't want to offend anyone. And also because of the reputation that Sharon, the owner-creator, already has, it was a good step for me into the island as well. It kind of made me, I was still wobbling from my move to the UK in terms of recovery, but it was a quick, right, you're either gonna, I was going to parties and coming in hungover and stuff, so then I even stopped drinking, and it was this is your game changer, It's been like college for me also, because I've learned photography, I've learned Premiere Pro video editing, I've learned Lightroom, it's helped me grow as a person as well, and I get to meet all of these amazing people and interview them.
It's so much fun,
wonderful,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the media is such an interesting, industry, because again, you might be the editor of a small magazine, but then the profile you have, everybody knows you, everybody wants to chat to you anyway. I love that, isn't it? It's so much fun.
It's really fun.
It's very high profile, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really great. I'd also like to just mention that I got to interview my hero last year. Yeah, it's one of the benefits of COVID. I think everyone's bored. But Goldie, who is a DJ and an artist, most people from the UK will know him.
Sure, like a proper mainstream,
he's
famous, right?
Yeah, he's a drum and bass and jungle DJ and producer, very well known, very respected. So I got to interview him last year. He gave me an hour. He said he was only going to give 15 minutes. He's just opened a gallery in Bangkok as well. So yeah, it was, from Phanganist, I got to interview my hero, which
that's amazing.
Great, yeah.
So would you say that's the most interesting interview you've done so far?
Definitely for me personally, but also last year we met two journalists from Bangkok, Law Sigel and Tom Vata. I think they're starting to get involved a little bit on Koh Phangan. They come here a lot. That was super interesting. Law does a lot of journalism in Asia, and Tom has a huge background as a writer, and they write for Nikkei.
And
they've written a really, I think it was shared a lot in the community here, the article, the history of the full moon and
Japanese.
everything. So there's been so many highlights, even, you know, meeting people like yourself.
Wow.
But every interview I did, or I do, I learn something from people. It's like a constant, amazing Koh Phangan education.
It's great, you know. I think we share many things. Certainly, we share a love for the island, you know. Like my intention is to be here for a very long run. And how about yourself?
I think I want to be here now because I have a toddler and my baby was born here. And so for the first few years of life, yes. But I do see myself moving on for a while and then maybe coming back in the future, mostly because I need to be a bit more, if I want to progress with my art, I need to be around some more galleries and a bit more of the scene for me, but I would definitely come back.
So tell me a little bit more about the art scene in Thailand. I mean, I suppose Bangkok is the place to be, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah, but it's really grown there. The contemporary scene is growing a lot, so I think it took Thailand a while to come from, you know, the old masters, but now they're really growing in contemporary art. You have Goldie's Gallery Aurum, you have, there's another artist, Y Tricycle. They have a gallery. There's a few different galleries.
Okay.
And the art scene is thriving and they're getting a bit more like sending a message. I spoke to some artists who were talking about the environment. One artist got a car or a truck, put some canvas around the exhaust to capture the smoke.
The pollution coming out.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit more, the art is talking about things a bit more, so it's really exciting, yeah.
That's very nice. So, well, thank you very much for having this little chat with me, Emma.
Yeah, so
Emma, the artist and the editor of Phanganist.com, so thank you very much.
Thank you.